Hello, beautiful people. We back. It's your boys, the R&D show. I'm Shad,
I'm Ryan.
and you're tuned into the one and only R&D show.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Did y'all miss us? We missed y'all too. And we love, we love y'all. I mean, I feel like we have become a family very, very fast. You know, and it continues to grow. So please continue to support us as this family continues to get bigger and bigger, and we embrace the fact that y'all are on this journey with us, and we're just so thankful. So thank you again for supporting the R&D show.
Yeah, thank you for supporting us. Thank you for bringing your authentic selves to the comments and, just enlighten us. We welcome the feedback. And so we just appreciate the opportunity to be able to connect with you all. I know you guys can be listening to anything you want to, but you guys are choosing to listen to us, and we appreciate that. We don't take it lightly.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all so much. So thank you.
Yeah.
Continue to share our videos, continue to speak about our videos and our commentary and just who we are as human beings, because at the end of the day, it's not about male or female. It's about us being humans and advocating on behalf of right and standing up for what's right and using our voice to make a difference.
Yeah.
It's important for us to be the change that we want to see, and we got to start somewhere, right?
All right. Today is the day, and we're grateful we get to start with you all. Just trying to share our thoughts and our perspective, hopefully to bring a little bit more light into the world, a little bit more wisdom into the world. And so we're grateful.
We're very grateful. And it's interesting because Black men in general, sometimes we feel like we don't have a voice on issues. And if we do, express our voice, I've seen this plenty of times, like on social media, chiming in on things, then you get this label of being sassy, or you become emasculated, right? It's kind of like it's not masculine to talk about certain things or to watch certain things or to just show up in certain spaces. And I feel like you guys have given us a safe space and an opportunity to show up in this space and feel comfortable in this space and be free to discuss whatever we want to. And so we're grateful for that. We're grateful for not being judged. We're grateful for being seen just as Black men who are in touch with in touch with our feelings, but also have really gotten to a point where you can tell we've done the work on ourselves. And so we're in touch with our mental and emotional and intelligence, and it comes across and it translates because you guys always, that's one of the things that you say is clearly there's been some work that's been done there. Clearly you guys have maybe went to therapy or, live your life a certain way to where you're able to open up and express the way that you do and articulate the way that you do. And so we're just grateful that you guys are able to receive it in that manner and let us know that you're receiving it. So thank you so much.
Yeah, we appreciate that. We have grown, but as you mentioned, we are still a work in progress.
Absolutely.
And this is a mutual relationship that we have with you all. You guys give us feedback. You guys share your insights, and we're able to take that and digest it and hopefully come back, with more informed discussions and maybe some evolution and some growth. But we thank you guys for recognizing that, we do the work. We've been through some adversity, and through adversity, it really shows you who you are. And adversity can make you or break you. And adversity has helped to make us so far, and will continue to help to make us.
Absolutely. And as I said in one of the last videos, is there's so much strength through adversity. You just have to push through. When quitting looks good, that's when you run even faster, because you have to have the spirit of a finisher, the spirit of a winner. And that's what we have. We come from different backgrounds and we've experienced different things. And I always say, our backgrounds may have influenced who we are, but we're responsible for who we become. And we continue on this journey of becoming amazing Black men in this culture. And we want to be, some of the Black men that help pull other black men in this direction to use their voice, because I know sometimes you can feel a little timid or feel like your voice doesn't matter, but it matters. And we're seeing how much it matters and how much the culture needs us to speak life, to speak love, to speak, to inspire, to encourage, to uplift, to engage, and to just be a part of something that's just so beautiful to help us all grow. When I'm reading some of those comments and people are saying that this video made them cry, or this section of the video touched them so much that they're in tears, or they feel inspired, like that touches our heart, you know, because we don't take anything that we say or do for granted. And as I said before, we're coming from a raw, authentic place, an unbiased place of love, light, and we're just so grateful. And another thing, you know, I read the whole, what if y'all might get backlash from other men. Hopefully it's not about getting backlash. Hopefully it's about them seeing us and being like, you know what? I understand those black men and I want to support those black men. And also, I think that they're on to something. And hopefully I can be onto that too. How can I be more involved in a part of this? Because we would love to have a melting pot of subscribers and supporters. So black men, you know, support your black boys. Like we brothers. So would love to see more of y'all as well.
I just kept thinking about, I don't know, you saw me raise my hand. I thought, God is so good. God has been so good. I feel so blessed that he's pulled us through the adversities. And, you know, I just feel really blessed in this moment. So that's what I'm feeling.
I love that. And I know that people can watch our videos and be like, man, y'all got so in tune with women, and you guys really speak so positive. That is also just a testimony of where we've come from as far as the women that raised us and the environment and experiences that we had. I know for myself, I'm very passionate about black women because I watched my mother be a single mother and to struggle and went through so much adversity, went through so many trials, tribulations. But thank God she don't look like what she been through. And what does not kill you makes you stronger. And she has survived and she's alive. And I just thank God for her life. And I'll never forget being that little boy to now being a man and being exposed to certain things, like my mom's unhappiness, her heartbreak, her not giving up, and being in a situation similar to Melody Holt where she had 3 kids, a small baby at the time, and my dad was the breadwinner, but he was also, you know, pretty abusive, and there was a lot of struggling there. And on this particular night, it got really out of control. And it took my mom a while to gain that strength to walk away. And when she did, she never looked back. She walked away with her 3 kids, and she thrived and she survived. And even if we did struggle and may have moved around a lot, she did the best that she could. And what she did was enough for her to raise 3 amazing human beings on this earth. And so I say that to say, sometimes you are the strength that you need, and that's it. And even if you don't feel it at that moment, eventually it will kick in and you'll understand that you did what you had to do so that you can get to where you are, and that you can continue climbing that mountain. Continue climbing, because nobody said it would be easy, but it's definitely worth it. And I'm a testament of it being worth it, and I'm so grateful. So that's why I stand strong and I stand firm and I stand on business when it comes to our black queens. Know that. That's a fact.
Yeah, I feel similar in a lot of ways. My mom is one of my best friends, and she's just a true light. If you get a chance to meet her, what you experience is warmth, kindness, and love. And so I like to try to be a reflection of her. She's fed so much into me. Same thing with my sister. Same thing with my grandmother. My grandmother's one of my best friends. My grandmother's friends were some of my close friends as well. So black women have fed into my life. And so this is my way to to give back in general. You know, just not to Black women, but to everybody. We don't want to limit our audience to just Black women, but to everybody.
Yes, definitely everybody.
So,
because the R&D show is for everybody.
For everybody.
You know, we for everybody.
And to speak to your point about receiving backlash, you're always going to receive backlash.
Absolutely.
You know, everybody's not going to agree with 100% of what you say or what you do, but it's most important for you to just operate in your truth and let the chips fall where they may.
Absolutely, because it's about operating in love and light. And one of my favorite things to say to people is never dim your light in order to let somebody else shine.
Mm-hmm.
If your light is shining bright, they should be able to shine theirs bright as well.
And sometimes it's just a reflection of where these other people may not be in their lives.
Absolutely.
So they don't want to see you shining. They don't want to see you speaking the truth. Because guess what? That truth may change someone's perspective of how they're dealing with them in general. So people want to maintain that power. So sometimes speaking truth can mitigate one's power.
Right.
Black men, if they're upset about it, it is what it is. It's an opportunity to grow and evolve and really dig deep and try to understand why you might be upset about the things that we're saying. Are we challenging the existing power structure?
Exactly.
You know, and if we are, why aren't you secure enough to be okay, you know, with whatever we're challenging and know that you're going to be fine? So,
and there's nothing wrong with being challenged. You know, we're all living, learning, and growing. Every day above ground is a blessing and another opportunity for you to learn something new and to continue to grow in a direction that is conducive for a healthy lifestyle. Your mental health, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And another thing is, I always put out there, you can't have one without the other. So one thing that you need, and I feel like we all need, because we all have walked through this life and had different situations and circumstances that have molded us and or groomed us or conditioned us, is therapy to unpack some of whatever that trauma or those things were. Because until you heal what happened to you when it happened, you'll never be able to live to your full potential. So therapy is important, especially in the Black community. It's important that we start to eradicate the stigma surrounding therapy and mental health, because it's not something that you need.
But my pastor, my therapist.
No.
My pastor is my therapist.
And so here we go with that one. Because growing up in the Black community and Black culture, especially in the Black church, I grew up Church of God in Christ. We were kind of, it was a learned behavior and conditioned to believe that not even so much that our pastors are therapy, but go to God, go to Jesus, that's it. And therapy was never discussed. It was never entertained. And it was always, go pray about it. Go pray about it, baby. You'll be all right. Just pray about it. You'll be all right. So when I'm saying you can't have one without the other, you can't have therapy without spirituality, therapy without your faith, therapy without God. You know what I mean? They are intertwined. And so God and spirituality in general is there to feed your spirit and your faith. Therapy is there for your mental and emotional health. And so having all that together is what ties into you living, not only just living your best life, but instead of just existing, actually living your full and whole self. And a lot of times we're doing ourselves a disservice because we're not getting the therapy that we need, and we're just acting as if prayer is just enough. But the Bible says itself, faith without works is dead. So the faith part is your prayer, but the work is you go and sit in front of a licensed therapist to help you unpack what it is that has kept you from being walking in your full purpose, walking into your greater destiny, and having this light that shines that no one can dim, so that you can unpack whatever that is. And it feels so good to unpack. It feels so good to unpack.
It does feel good, but it can be tough.
It can be very tough.
So I think unpacking and then resolving whatever you're unpacking, that's the feeling good that you're talking about. Absolutely. It can be very tough to sit in that therapist's office and talk about deep-seated issues, talk about trauma, talk about people that hurt you, talk about things you've done that may have hurt yourself. Mm-hmm. Sometimes self-betrayal is the worst thing And so, but when you get on the other side of that, like Shout was saying, it feels so good. And God created therapists, so it is an extension for a reason. It's to help come in your life so you have someone to guide you and ask you the right questions so you can help kind of heal yourself in certain ways.
Exactly. And so I do wellness retreats every year, right? And on the wellness retreat, what I like to put out there to the people that are a part of that retreat is ownership. You have to own what it is that made you feel some type of way, that hurt you, that may have set you back, that you're dealing with. You have to call it what it is. And when you're able to name it and call it what it is, you're owning it. And it does not own you. And because it does not own you, you have the power to overcome it. And the greatest feeling is overcoming something, an obstacle, a situation, a circumstance, a relationship, family ship, things that may be happening in your career, or just things that have been going on inside of you that you feel as if there's no way for you to get past this space that you're in, this toxic or this dark or this lonely or this bitter or this hateful space that you're in, but God. One thing about God is he may not come when you want him, but he's always on time. And with that being said, there's so many resources, there's so much tools and knowledge that can help you get through this. As long as you're owning, and ownership can be tough because when you're living in that means that you have to be vulnerable to what it is that hurt you. You have to be vulnerable to what it is that is living rent-free in your head. And vulnerability sometimes causes you to break down and to maybe scream, but that's okay. If you didn't have emotions, you wouldn't be human. And as humans, we're created to feel. We're created to feel so that we can heal. So it feels so good to feel whatever it is so that we can heal and push through and come out. Come out that fire like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. I mean, if you know about that, you come out untouched. And that's exactly what happens when you merge the two of therapy and your spirituality. Is you come out of those therapy sessions feeling better because slowly but surely you're unpacking what it is. And it's a process and it's a pace, but slowly but surely, steady but strong, you will get to where you want to be at.
Yeah, you just gotta do the work day by day. And you may not see it right away, but as long as you keep at it, you'll see the progress will be evident. Absolutely. Sooner or later.
And my shirt says it all, hope.
Hope.
Have hope and know it gets better. And we can go in on this for a very long time, but I want to get in a few topics, starting off with, I guess we can start off with Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Oh, snap.
So, if you watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, the last few seasons have been a little, questionable. There's been some things that have transpired and things of that nature. And so Andy's doing like a recasting and people have been like chiming in on who they think is coming back. Is Nene coming back? Is Portia coming back? Who's coming back and who they do not want to come back. So Kenya just did an interview at a radio station and said that the casting is going to be released soon as far as who's coming back, and a few people from the original cast is definitely coming back, and there's going to be some newbies.
I think that's a smart way to release it. Like one person at a time or a few people at a time, it creates the hype because we're already talking about Kenya's coming back. But I felt like it was tough for Kenya to go. Like she has such a light on the show, and she's so Atlanta Housewives, and she has a presence that some of these other girls don't have that's been on that show. So I'm glad to see that she's back. We've seen her growth, we've seen her evolution, and so I'm looking forward to seeing who are the other cast members that are coming back. Is there people that you want to see come back and some people you don't want to see come back?
So let me say this. Kenya, she didn't confirm or deny that she's coming back, right?
Oh, okay.
the way that she was talking, she's alluding to, she's
Should
coming
be
back
okay.
and at least 2 more people.
Okay.
I definitely don't mind Kenya coming back. And
Would you have said this 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
so I would not have said this. Was it 3 years ago, the last time Portia was on Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Probably so, yeah.
So I probably wouldn't have said it then.
Okay.
But I've gotten a liking to Kenya because when you have a Marlo on the show, Kenya becomes so much more likable and lovable and funny and all of those things when you have someone like Marlo on the show. So with that being said, I would prefer not to have Marlo come back. Definitely would have Kenya. I would love to see Drew Sidora come back.
Yeah.
I would love to see what's going on in her life now because we were kind of left on a cliffhanger with her and Ralph filing for divorce and still living in the same house, which could be very interesting, and just kind of see where she's at now, how they've been navigating through this process of getting a divorce and co-parenting. And because the good thing about this is we haven't seen it turn into the Martell show of it all. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's not playing out in the press like Melody and Martell and Ralph is doing all these crazy things to Drew. So it would be interesting to see what happened since the reunion, and where they are. So Kenya, Drew, and we're speaking from the people that's on there
that's
now.
On there now.
Okay,
Candy,
so Kenya, Drew.
I like Candy. Candy's a true, like she's been there for a while. She's true ATL. She's originally from ATL. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to have her on there. She has so many businesses that she's developed that's been able to grow because of the show. I would love to see Candy.
I love Candy. I got mad love for Candy. I think she's amazing at everything that she does. She's such a caring and loving and giving and just an inspirational person. The way that her mind works is like a machine. I think she's awesome. Would I love to see Candy take a break from Housewives? I would. I just feel like her storyline has kind of ran its course a little bit. And so I wouldn't be mad at her taking a break and then coming back, kind of like letting life play out and doing some things and then coming back and us seeing something different.
So you want to miss her?
Kind of want to miss her a little bit, like we miss Portia, because sometimes you don't miss a good thing until it's gone. And now everybody wants Portia back. Like Portia is the talk of Real Housewives. So of course I would love for Portia to come back. I believe that we'll see a different type of Portia though, because we've already gotten a different type of Portia the last time we seen her on the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. This is a different Portia. This is a Portia that is now married to a millionaire who has upgraded her lifestyle as well. And so I think we've seen her change a whole lot. So it's gonna be interesting to see that dynamic play out. And I would love to see some fresh faces. It would, and I'm just gonna put some stuff out there, and I'm pretty sure it won't happen. But Mariah would be great for Real Housewives of Atlanta. And she said, actually, I think she said before that she was approached to be on the show. This was before Married to Medicine, but that probably isn't gonna happen because, and we'll get into probably why that wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
But I think she would have been great.
What about Tamar?
I think
Tamar.
The way that Tamar is so childish. A few years ago, I would love to probably see her, but for some reason, I don't feel like she's mentally developing in such a mature way. The things that I've heard and seen her do on social media have not been the best for her age, and it's kind of off-putting to see. So I wouldn't be down to see Tamar on there. Before I would have, but now I'm just like, no. I'm gonna go back and say I would love to see Monica on there. I just think that she's kind of closed off, and of course she's such a celebrity. She probably doesn't know, because she was approached at one time to be on Housewives in the very beginning, but I don't know if she feels that this would be good for her brand. But I feel like at this place in her life, because things, like she still tours and stuff like that, but I think things are more calmed down, put it that way. I think it'd be great to see how she really is as a person, outside of like social media and things of that nature. So, and she's true ATL all day.
Would you bring what about, keeping Candy on it, and she bring Tiny to the show? That could be an element there. And Tiny has a lot going on in her life. And
Tanya is a
yeah.
character. She's funny.
Yeah.
She was actually approached to be on Housewives too. She's the one that referred Candy.
Yeah,
to be
she
on
was
there.
originally approached. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be interesting to see.
Tanya.
I think it'd be good to see
Tanya.
maybe a pastor's wife.
Oh,
That would
pastor's
be
wife on there.
Yeah, that's so yeah. You know,
To see how.
to see what.
Pastor's wife. Who's a good? Pastor Danielle Murphy.
Yeah, Murphy. Okay,
be a
that's
good
Murphy.
Ooh, that would be tough to.
Yeah.
Pastor's wife.
That would be tough.
That would be tough.
We got Giselle. Oh yeah, Giselle's Real Housewives of Potomac, but that's post.
She's
post.
yeah. So yeah. Who else that we think is just such an amazing?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't really think of anybody else that's in Atlanta that I think that I would want to see. I definitely wouldn't want to see any influencers or.
Okay.
No.
What about Shamia? She had a. Is she into? I love Shamia, but is she interested enough on TV? I mean, I thought she did a great job on the Big Morning. Was it Ticket Show?
Oh, the Big Ticket Show.
Yeah, Big Ticket Show. So.
Yeah, I mean, she could work. There's so many people that live in Atlanta. So many celebrities. You just gotta. This is like a list. So it'd be very interesting if he's gonna bring like a name or just somebody that's new, like someone that's a wife of someone who is kind of big in Atlanta that we don't know. Because unknowns work too, right? We get to unpack. I mean, we seen from Salt Lake. We all fell in love with Monica. She was an unknown. So mixing it up with somebody that's completely unknown could work as well as being a housewife. And then there's just a lot of potential in Atlanta. I think that there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of women. So it's going to be very interesting to see who will be on the new cast of Real Housewives of Atlanta. And speaking of that, Kenya also said the door is completely closed to Nene. I know a lot of people thought that Nene would be coming back to Housewives, but it's kind of tough to.
The door is closed.
She sued her employer.
Yeah.
I guess you can't sue your employer and think that they're going to rehire you. Which is how we're going to segue into Mariah Huq and Married to Medicine. So Mariah sat down and did an interview with Carlos King and talked about Married to Medicine and the legacy and it being 10 years and it being her show, her baby. Baby girl.
Baby girl. Yeah, baby.
You gotta go lay down. Go lay down in your bed. Lay down. Sorry, she was trying to make a cameo, y'all. Like, she's trying to make a cameo. Lay down. Lay down. Stay. All right, so, so Mariah did an interview and she talked about Married to Medicine and, you know, it being her legacy and it being her baby because this is her show that she put together. She chose the cast. She pitched the show. She even shot, like, her own...
She shot a pilot?
Sizzle.
Okay, a little sizzle.
Yes.
Oh,
and I think she said she had did 1 or 2 episodes and like she's funded all of this and pitched it. And there are a few networks that wanted her. And she went with Bravo because she felt like it was already a strong platform that had a franchise built around women, right? Mm-hmm. So I think I can speak for a lot of us that I miss Mariah on Married to Medicine because she brought a different type of like energy. And she's such a big personality and I feel like she was good TV. At the end of the day, I feel like she was very good TV. And sometimes it sucks to see relationships either grow apart or completely die because of television and how things can be happening behind the scenes to put batteries in people's backs and get them to turn against each other. And on her interview, she was pretty much saying that's a lot of what has been happening has happened on Married to Medicine, which is another reason why she's no longer on there because batteries are put in backs and
we have to drive a storyline. So batteries put in the back is drama. A lot of times that's what it is. The executive producers, the producers in general will push a storyline. Will have someone say a certain thing or talk about this. Because they know the controversy, really drives ratings. And so that could, if you're not strong enough in who you are and you allow yourself to play into these things, it really could affect your friendships, because now you're saying things and doing things to people that you care about on national TV, and it can adversely affect your relationship. So,
and that's what's happened. And so I know we've talked about this before. How do you make a choice? You know, what do you choose? Do you choose, because this is still a job at the end of the day, do you choose your job and the fame of it all? We know someone personally from the cast of Married to Medicine, and they were saying that some people are just really addicted to that fame, and so they're willing to do whatever they can to remain on that show, or remain on any show. So do you sacrifice your relationship that you may have had way before the show just to make good TV? That's a tough. Would you think that that's tough?
Oh, I think it's tough. I mean, because you gotta, at the end of the day, you gotta go to bed and wake up and look at yourself in the mirror. Yeah. And who do I want to be? Who do I want to be in this world? And so, are you gonna let like fame, money be the driving factor and influence like character choices that you make on TV? What are you putting out in the atmosphere? And some people are willing to take that trade-off and say things and do things they ordinarily wouldn't do for the sake of TV, for the sake of money, for the sake of fame. But it's really a personal choice. But I'm of the mindset you have to stay true to yourself, and there's a cost.
Yeah.
There's a cost in your soul. There's a cost, and is a cost worth it? You have to. It's really an individual choice. For me, I know I've been approached to do a number of different things in reality TV world and different spaces, and it just wasn't worth it for me. But no judgment for other people. But at the end of the day, I just have to be happy with the decisions that I make and the consequences that come from those decisions. So it's a personal choice.
And sometimes you want to be a part of the right formula. You know what I mean? Like, what is going on? What is this based off of? What are we looking to do? Like, at the end of the day, what are we creating? Is it something that I'm going to be happy about being a part of, or is it just going to be all about, you know, gimmicks and drama and fights and arguing and backstabbing in a toxic environment? Or what are we showcasing? So I think that sometimes people sign up to something that they feel like they can really be a part of genuinely and show up as their authentic self.
And also another question is, how authentic and how real is that friendship with that particular person, right?
Oh, yeah.
So when I think about Real Housewives of Potomac, I see Giselle and Robin. They had a real connection, a real friendship that was before the show. Therefore, Giselle does not say anything necessarily to,
hinder that friendship.
Yeah, to hinder that friendship for the most part. Like, she could have put this stuff out about Juan. I'm sure she knew about it, but she kind of kept it to herself. Now, I think some of the other girls she's developed friendships with, and maybe she sees them as work friends. She's willing to say certain things, maybe like Candace. And I think Candace's issue is that she felt like she developed a real friendship with Giselle. And I think in Giselle's mind, she's like, this is TV, baby. This is work. You know, I met you on the show. Like, this is...
now you my work friend.
Now you're my work friend. You know, so this is fair game. I can say things. I'm going to do things that might be controversial. But if you really value that friendship, you have to really say, is it worth it? Is it worth putting that out there? And I know people like to call Giselle, whatever they want to call it, but she's been strong and a great friend, a loyal friend to Robin.
To Robin and Robin only. Her loyalty lies with Robin and Robin only. But that's just a great example of you choosing. I'm going to choose my friendship over drama. I'm going to choose my friendship over a storyline, and that's what she's done. And unfortunately, on Married to Medicine, that's not what has been happening and what happened with like Mariah and Quad, and she spoke on that. And you can see and you can tell that Mariah is still bothered by, you know, what happened to her and how she was kind of iced out of that show, and what was said about her and her legacy on that show. And she just hates the fact that she had to go out with the rumor of her, you know, doing drugs that she's never done before.
That's crazy. I would have never. Well, where did that rumor start? How did that?
Well, Quad had said that on one of the reunions.
Wow.
About her. And this is when they were at each other's throats.
Oh, okay.
So they
just
were
put
both,
it out there.
Yeah, they were both kind of, you know, going back and forth. So so my question to you guys is, how do you come back from that? Like, is there a way for them, it's been years that have passed, is there a way to sit down and come back from, especially they had a real friendship before the show. So unlike Phaedra and Candy, who kind of met on the show and developed their friendship, is there a way to come back from such accusation? What do you think?
I think that's tough. I mean, if you're willing to put me out there and say some false information about me and make me look bad on national TV, how do I trust you?
Yeah.
Like if I'm Mariah, I'm like, if this is what happened, how do I trust you? It would take a lot. It would take a lot of work to get back to a place where I can trust you to be your friend. Now maybe I can get to be your work friend so I could be on this show, but like to be your genuine friend, it would take a lot. It would take a lot.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've had my share of things that have been said that's not true, and from people that I hold near and dear to my heart, and shared what I thought was a valuable, strong relationship with. So I know from experience how tough that can be. But I also know that with time, time heals all wounds and situations. And again, it's about ownership. And I'm not going to allow something that was not true to own and to live rent free in my head. And so I had to first forgive myself for thinking that we valued each other the same way. And then also forgive them, because forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for you. And that's how you're able to press on and move forward and love in life and live your best life. And so with that brings that person to come back around and really want to reconnect some type of way. So I'm all about giving grace. Sometimes it takes longer. Grace sometimes doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes it takes a few years. So
I would need to see that person has done the work.
Absolutely.
And whatever it was, the catalyst for them to say what they said,
yes,
they really worked it out and healed whatever it was, whether it was insecure, whatever it may have been. I would need to have seen like some evidence of the work.
Yes.
Not to forgive, but to get them back into that space.
Of even being able to be cordial.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you don't have to be mad and angry at
I can be
anybody,
cordial with anyone. Like one of my best friends say, I can pat a dog, but do I have to sleep with the dog?
Yeah.
I can say, hey, I can be kind, be loving, but do I have to let you in my inner circle again? I can still wish you well and wish you well over there, and still speak to you and say, hey, hello, and ask you how you're doing, and genuinely mean it, but you're no longer in that inner circle.
I think the tough part is sometimes the cut is just too deep.
Mm.
And if you are able to cut that deep, then there's no way for me to look at you as a person who has a heart. You know what I mean? It's tough for me because I'll look at you moving forward as just this cold individual that's heartless, careless, and reckless, depending on how deep that is.
Yeah.
But again, I would never walk around angry or upset, because what that does is that limits my lifespan. You know, that takes away from my peace, and I value peace that passes all understanding. I don't care who, what, when, where, why. Peace that passes all understanding is how I'm able to rest at night and not just sleep. You know what I'm talking about? There's a difference.
Yeah. I'm trying to get to that, 'cause I be up thinking about it, my mind be racing.
Listen.
But yeah, I'm trying to get to the peace that passes all understanding. It takes me a while.
Listen,
I'm not very good at compartmentalizing. But I'm a work in progress. I'm trying to get there.
Man, God is the joy and the strength of my life. Man, God is. God is everything. But yeah, so Mariah, you know, she talked about Married to Medicine, and she talked about the cast, and you know how production works with certain people, and unfortunately it brings a demise to certain people. And one of the things that, and I said we were going to get back to you talking about seeing Mariah, and I said I would like to see Mariah on, like, you know, Housewives or whatever. Mm-hmm. Well, she also kind of sued now I'm not sure if she completely sued the network, but I know that she did sue some of the execs that became
associated with
Married to Medicine. Yeah. Because even though she still has her executive producer credit, and then another credit she talked about she has on the show, there were some things that I guess that happened and transpired, and maybe this took place with them trying to off her from her own show, and so then she went and I guess sued. So I don't know if it was like a Nene suit, because Nene went after like Bravo Universal. She did the big thing. But Mariah is just, she's likable, and she said something that was very interesting.
I'm smiling because like I didn't watch much of Married to Medicine in the beginning,
okay.
And all I remember seeing is Mariah in the fights and all this stuff. So I don't know, like you saying she's likable.
I feel like
it felt like there was a lot of drama surrounding
there
Mariah.
There was drama.
And so
there was drama.
And so I'm just laughing because I didn't get her.
But I think people would say the same thing about Toya too. It's tough for me to hear.
I didn't care for Toya originally, but this Toya I kind of like.
And I've always liked Toya. So
yeah, Toya, I was like,
hearing what certain people have said, I feel like I feel like her and Quad, but Toya really has had the toughest time because they have down talked her so bad season after season, like calling her dumb and you're not smart and you're stupid. Like just really have just done a number on her, and to see her still sustaining and being a part of this show and growing and not feeling burned out is.
But to me, she could be one of the smartest of them all. Yeah. She didn't have to actually go to school and do 8 years of college post her undergrad to become a doctor. She married a doctor. And she getting the benefits, that come with like being a doctor, the financial benefits. And so in the circles. And so she might have been a little bit smarter.
I mean, listen, marry rich, and marry rich and then start your own businesses, and you've always worked for yourself. So I do like Toya, but the villain was discussed and who Mariah thinks is the villain of the show. And of course, I think a lot of people think Dr. Heavenly is the villain of the show. Some would say Dr. Simone is the villain of the show. Some would say Quad is the villain of the show. But the shocking response to that from Mariah was Dr. Jackie.
Wow.
Yeah,
that is kind of shocking.
It's very shocking.
It's shocking, but then you also think about odd times certain people that can fly underneath the radar. Are really showing you who they really are, because she's been vulnerable on the show, but maybe not quite as vulnerable as some of the others. So it is a somewhat a big show.
And I guess what makes it a little bit more like questionable, and mind you, I don't believe all this stuff. To be like, could it be a little true, is the controversy that's been surrounding Dr. Jackie when all this stuff just came out about her comments and her being a mean girl, really, and not the best person. Sometimes, as you said before, we can get on these shows and put on a facade and not show up as our real selves because you want to be likable, right? I've always felt like she showed up as her true authentic self, but then you see Dr. Simone and you see Heavenly kind of fight for their relationship with Jackie and argue with each other, and she kind of like just walks away. And I don't know, it's very interesting to see how she plays things.
Yeah, I think one moment that I didn't care for Dr. Jackie was when she was, I forget what season it was. Yeah, I think there was a moment on Married to Medicine where I felt like I didn't really care for Dr. Jackie in that particular moment. It was when she said that Buffy was infertile to the public, and she was up there giving a speech about breast cancer, and somehow I guess the topic of infertility came up, and Buffy was kind of taken back by it because this is like personal information, not something she necessarily wanted to share with everyone. And when she went to Dr. Jackie just seemed very defensive and that she was above reproach. And that was kind of shocking to see, because that's not what you typically see of Dr. Jackie.
Yeah, she was very dismissive to something so sensitive and personal to someone, and she's just like, there's a new girl in town.
I was like, okay, there's a new girl in town.
So
well, we don't like her.
Yeah, that was crazy. But that reminds me of when Nene was saying, we'd never seen the real Cynthia. And then when Cynthia started showing a different side of her, she was just like, there she is. There's the Cynthia that I know. There's the real Cynthia. Yeah, and y'all was just seeing sweet Cynthia. So I think that hearing Mariah say this about Dr. Jackie as if we're only getting to experience the sweet Dr. Jackie and not like who Dr. Jackie really is. It's kind of weird because I still don't see her as being a villain on that show or just a villain in general. But I don't know. We don't know people personally. We don't know how they operate in their daily lives. So.
Also, we all have our moments.
Absolutely.
You know, no
Absolutely.
one's perfect, and that just wasn't one of Dr. Jackie's best moments.
Yeah.
And so we all have, you know, a side of us that most people don't get to see. But if you push the right buttons,
oh, it'll come out.
it might come out.
Listen, you poke that bear good enough, that bear gonna wake up. And bad moments don't mean that you're a bad person.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I always tell people. Having a bad moment does not mean that the overall picture of you is that you're just a horrible person. Now, some people continue to not even have moments, but this is just who they are. And when someone shows you who they are, you have no choice but to believe them if this is their track record and they continue to do these things. We haven't seen Dr. Jackie continue to do these things, so that was shocking to hear Mariah say that.
Yeah, I was taken aback. I was like, who? Dr. Jackie? Okay.
But yeah, I mean, reality TV is just, it's very interesting. And I'm going to touch on this before we end this. We really don't have much of other TV shows that are not reality to speak of that are not women driven and women based, because for some reason there has not been a space created for a male driven reality TV show. Not only would I love to be a part of a male driven reality TV show and to, you know, be an executive producer of one and to pitch this idea, I would love to see something like that happen. And we know that majority of the audience of reality TV, I guess the core fan base is women.
Women and black gay men, I would say.
Yeah,
men.
In general. But
In general.
I think that there's a space to have a male-driven show that could be accepted and appreciated by everybody. We just have to give it a chance. I don't think you should just knock it down because you feel like it won't be successful. I feel like if you got the right cast of people, a melting pot of people on that show who show up as their authentic selves, of course drama is bound to happen, but it should play out authentically. It shouldn't be something that's forced. Because again, I think another reason why it hasn't happened is if something does break out, who can really prevent them from going that far? But it's all in who you cast to be on that show. And a lot of us have done the work to not get to that point. We have great restraint, and we're not going to allow ourselves to act a plum fool on national television or just in general. Like for myself, I don't like to take myself to that space. It requires too much negative energy, and I don't operate in that space of negativity. So again, man, let us know. Would y'all be interested in seeing an all-male cast of a reality show that follows the lives of men, and you get to see, you know, men that are married, that are single, that are dating, that have businesses, that are entrepreneurs, that are single dads, or, you know, raising their children or co-parenting, their work lives. It's the same formula as the housewife shows, but basically around men. Y'all ready for something like that? Let us know.
Let us know for
You
sure.
know, sound off in the comments and let us know.
Yeah, for sure.
But we just wanted to come in here and give y'all a video, and hopefully you enjoy this one. We talked about some different things. We mixed it up a little bit. So let us know what you enjoy us talking about outside of like reality TV, some topics that you would like for us to touch on and speak about from our perspective and point of view. But we thank y'all so much for tuning in, and until next time, take care of yourself. Make sure first you like, you subscribe, you comment on this video, you share it. But again, thank y'all for tuning in. God bless y'all. Y'all be blessed. And until next time, take care of yourself and each other.
Peace.
Peace.